So, for this assignment, talking to a stranger, I chose the following topic. If you could change anything in society, what would it be? And I had gone to basically half and half, male and female, uh, all from the age group. Well, I'll get to that, I guess. So I done half, 4 male, 4 females. Basically, I had gone around my neighborhood, basically just in the area of where I live, my neighborhood, and kind of like the upper part of my neighborhood. I also went to Walmart, kind of boarding curtains, and I'd also gone, I guess, down the street, like next to Copper Hills, and basically my experience going around in my neighborhood. It was kind of interesting seeing, how hostile some people could be in my neighborhood, kind of towards me. Just kind of, I would knock on people's doors. Well, this one person in my neighborhood, just the street over, I had knocked on their door, and they had one of the Ring doorbells. And I had waited there, just basically, how you wait at the door after you ring the doorbell, seeing if someone would come. And I kind of waited and was going to give it 10 more seconds until I just walk away. And then he got on his intercom saying, oh, you can, leave now. And it was just kind of awkward and just kind of interesting, and seeing that in my neighborhood. I'd gone to my next door neighbor as my first person to talk about. And he was 49 years old. He was a male. He goes to my church, He's been my next door neighbor for, I guess, a couple years now, so I know him pretty well. But I asked him the first question, if you could change anything in society, what would it be? And he gave the response of just saying, wishing that we could all kind of get along together. He used the phrase, "Can't we just get along?" He was just saying that we should accept people for who they are. And I asked the second question, how could you yourself contribute to this change? Do you have any ideas to make this change happen? And he was saying that we just need to reach out to everyone, respect everyone, and just understand that everyone comes from a different background, and we're all different. I asked him, what are some social changes you've seen as you've grown up? And he had responded that he's seen when he was younger, a lot of people would be more willing to help each other, more willing to help out. And now people are kind of in it for themselves. He's seen that change over time. And yeah, that was my next door neighbor. After that, that's where the, doorbell incident happened. And just kind of stuff. I had knocked at a couple doors before I had gotten people. So I had knocked on 2 people's door, no luck, and then gone down the street, and I had approached someone new in my neighborhood who I had noticed moved in not too long ago, a 50-year-old male. This was kind of one of the crazier times of my experience, I guess. I asked him the first question, if you could change anything about anything in society, what would it be? And it was interesting that he said enough that, quote unquote, I guess, he said, get rid of all the queers. And that was very, just interesting and kind of shocking to me. But, I wasn't going to get upset at anything right in there and then. So I asked him just to explain. And he basically just explained that another quote unquote, they could have stayed in the closet. He's saying it's better off that if they stayed in the closet. He just had a very negative attitude toward his word that he used, queers, homosexual people. And it was just really interesting. And that follow-up question was just kind of crazy to ask him that. But I had asked him, how could you yourself contribute to this change? Do you have any ideas to make this change happen? And I kind of just chuckled because his answer was to my questions. So he responded that, if the Supreme Court says it's how it should be, then that's how it should be. People of the same sex can marry. He said something along the line of like he can handle liberals or something like that. The guy was just interesting. He had explained that, he's like, I'm not a bad guy, but this is just how he thinks. And that's true. People can have their own opinions and people can think how they feel. And I asked, what are some social changes you've seen as you've grown up? He had talked about social media. Basically, there was no cell phones when he was younger, and social media is just like we all receive information, like a lot of information from back then to now. And I had gone also just down the neighborhood, like maybe out kind of near this park near me, and I had knocked on people's doors, had no luck. I had talked to a guy, I'd asked him the first question he was telling. He was maybe older, maybe 70, I don't know. But he had just told me that after I read the first question, if you could change anything in society, what it would be. He said that he didn't have any opinion on it, so he didn't want to answer any questions. So I had, gone away and knocked on someone else's door. They were having dinner, walked away from there. So then I come to another house, a 70-year-old female, I'm guessing her mom, and then a 40-year-old female, her daughter, I'm guessing. And, the same question I had asked them, if you could change anything in society, what would it be? Basically, they both were the same. They both had the same perspective on stuff. Like they said, I feel like since they had grown up, if it was her mom, they had grown up with the same values. So they both had the same answers for basically everything. But they both said social media and how people use it. They say that it's very harmful that people can be anonymous on social media as well, and it causes a lot of hate in the world, is what they explained. I asked them, how could you yourself contribute to this change? Basically, they couldn't really say anything, like you can't contribute or like stop people from being anonymous in social media and just all like the hate. You can't really stop it. So I asked them, what are some big social changes you've seen as you've grown up? And basically they explained that since all the social media, like it's no more face-to-face with like interacting with people, friends, and like jobs. The 40-year-old female, she had explained that at McDonald's, when applying for a job, you could scan your code, like a code on Snapchat, to apply for the job or something like that, which was interesting to me. Like, you don't have to, I think she was thinking like maybe an interview was through Snapchat. And if that's the case, that'd be really interesting. But just like stuff like that, they had given the example that I had changed since they were younger, and not a lot of face-to-face. Yeah. And, I'd gone down near my friend's house, and I had no luck over there. I knocked on a couple of doors and kind of just gave up on the neighborhoods because I was doing pretty good, got a couple people. And so I'd gone to Walmart to get some snacks, and basically I had asked someone in the store. I was just walking around and I was like, I don't know when to ask somebody. So I had asked a 41-year-old male. It was kind of quick with this experience. Like I kind of went in, and I don't know, I was just like scoping out people to talk to, people who didn't look too busy. But it was kind of quick. His wife was waiting for him, so I kind of had to make it quick. So I asked him the first question, if you could change anything in society, what would it be? He said kind of along the lines of people panicking because of social media. Like he wish he could change like people making rumors, I guess, and just all the panic in our world. And I asked him how could he contribute or any ideas to have this change happen, and he said, don't spread rumors as much, and just saying that everyone has their own opinion. We were talking about like the coronavirus and stuff like that, and just stuff like that. It was kind of quick, so it wasn't too much. On the third question, what are some social changes you've seen? Again, social media. He was saying that he sees everyone wrapped up in social media nowadays. It's more important than it should be. And he was saying that social media is also like different now because it makes people like give that freedom to like have a social say. Like, I don't know, he said somewhere along the lines of making people think it's okay to be socially weird. I think that's like one of the final things he had ended with. I'd also asked someone, am I